Right in the heart of Europe, tucked between giants, there's a paradox. A nation so small you could mistake it for a city, but a power that has genuinely shaped the continent. This is the story of Luxembourg, a country of incredible contrasts, where ancient fortresses stand guard over a hyper-modern economy, and a history of being torn apart somehow forged an unbreakable will to exist. Let's just start with one single stunning number, $141,000. That is the GDP per capita in Luxembourg, the highest on the entire planet. I mean, that's not just wealth, that's a statement. But how? How did a country that most people would struggle to find on a map become the richest in the world? And this is where the paradox really gets steep. Geographically, it's tiny, just under 1,000 square miles, making it one of the smallest sovereign nations out there. But politically, it casts this giant shadow, a founding member of the European Union, NATO, and the United Nations. Its size is a footnote, its influence is a headline. So this brings us to the big question, right? It's a journey that takes us through centuries of conflict, some incredibly shrewd reinvention, and just this fierce determination to control its own destiny. So how did this tiny fortress become Europe's richest power player? Well, to find the answer, we have to go way back to its foundations. Because this isn't just about land. It's about a national character that was forged in the fire of imperial ambition. It's a story of a nation truly defined by its resilience. It all starts right here, in the year 963, with a single castle on a rocky cliff. Luxembourg, which meant little castle. But this little castle had huge strategic value. Over the centuries, it was expanded and fortified by every great European power that occupied it, eventually earning the nickname the Gibraltar of the North. Its whole purpose was defense, and that purpose just seeped right into the nation's DNA. But here's the thing. A fortress of stone couldn't protect its borders from the stroke of a pen. 3 separate times, its powerful neighbors, France, Prussia, and Belgium, just carved it up. In 1659, then again in 1815, and a final, huge piece in 1839. With every single treaty, a part of them was lost until over 2/3 of their original land was just gone. Imagine that. This repeated trauma, this experience of being whittled away, it created this deep collective desire for one thing: sovereignty. And out of that history came this defiant declaration, "Mir willen blijven wat mir zijn." We want to remain what we are. And look, this isn't just some quaint saying, it's their national motto. It's a defiant promise to themselves that they would never, ever again be just a prize to be traded by empires. But, wanting to remain what you are takes more than just will. It requires economic independence. And that fierce desire for self-determination, it fueled this incredible engine of reinvention. It turns out, being small also meant being agile. And Luxembourg's story became one of strategic, calculated transformation. You can really see this evolution play out in 3 big acts. First was the Age of Steel, powered by all the iron-rich soil in their red lands. But when that industry started to decline in the 1970s, Luxembourg didn't wait for things to fall apart. It pivoted. It leveraged its stability and its central location to become a global financial center. And today, it's pivoting again, attracting tech giants and setting itself up as a premier digital hub. From steel to finance to data, each one a calculated leap forward. Now, of course, that rapid rise in finance came with a pretty controversial reputation as a tax haven, a reputation built on strict banking secrecy. But in true Luxembourgish fashion, when it was faced with mounting international pressure, it didn't just resist, it adapted. The country has since moved significantly, adopting global transparency standards. It's just another pivot, another calculated move in the name of survival and prosperity. This economic pull created another really defining feature of modern Luxembourg. You see, its wealth isn't just in its banks, it's in its people. What could have been a source of division, this massive immigrant population, has actually been turned into a powerful strategic advantage. And the result is a pretty astounding demographic reality. Nearly half the population, 47%, is made up of foreign nationals. Native Luxembourgers are just barely a majority in their own country. The biggest single group of foreigners is from Portugal, a legacy of migration that started decades ago. So this isn't just a melting pot, it's a core feature of their national identity. So you might be wondering, how does a society like this even function day to day? Well, through a unique and pretty complex trilingual system. At its heart is Luxembourgish. That's the language of national identity and conversation. But for law and government, it's French. And in the media and in primary schools, German dominates. This linguistic juggling act isn't a burden. In a globalized world, it's a superpower. So let's bring it all together now. What does it actually mean for a nation like this to remain what it is? The answer seems to be constant, intelligent, forward motion, using its wealth and stability to build a blueprint for the future. Here's a perfect example of what I mean. Since 2020, all public transport, we're talking trains, trams, buses, across the entire country, has been completely free for everyone. It's a radical, progressive policy that shows exactly how a nation can leverage its success for the direct benefit of its people and the environment. And you see that same forward-looking investment being applied to the environment. Luxembourg isn't just spending its wealth, it's investing in a sustainable future, aiming to prove that economic prosperity and ecological responsibility can be two sides of the very same coin. Which brings us right back to where we started, to that national motto, to remain what you are. After everything we've seen, the partitions, the pivots, this multicultural society, it becomes clear. For Luxembourg, remaining what they are doesn't mean standing still. It means constantly, cleverly, and fiercely adapting to not just survive, but to lead. Perhaps the grand paradox of Luxembourg is that the only way to remain yourself is to never stop becoming something new.